Hello everybody, today we're going to start on literal equations. So literal equations are the exact same thing as normal equations. The only difference is that they probably don't have as many numbers that a normal equation would have. And when we solve for something, our goal is still to isolate that single variable, but chances are we're not going to be able to simplify it to get to a single value. Okay, because there's going to be lots of variables going on. So we just kind of have to do what we can and leave it like that. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we get into like the algebra part, we're gonna use like pretty pictures to help us figure it out. All right. So when they tell us to solve for something, that's the variable or thing we're trying to get by itself. So we're solving for the triangle here. That means we're trying to get this triangle by itself. So it's triangle minus a square equals a star. We're still using inverse operations to move them away. Okay, so if it says minus a square, we do the inverse of that by adding a square to both sides. Okay, now these squares will cancel out, but the star and the square are not like terms, so we can't just combine them like we normally would with when it had numbers. Okay, so all we can do is just write it out. It's star plus a square. That's what the triangle equals, and we leave it like that. Okay, we just and triangles by itself, that is our main goal. All right, let's try another one. This one says solve for the star. So we are solving for this guy. Well, this guy is being divided by a triangle and it equals a square. So to undo that divided by a triangle, we do the inverse operation of multiplying by a triangle on both sides, but I forgot to put it on this side. So you do it to this side as well. Okay, these triangles will cancel out. And then to write it as times, I can just put the times in there. Or if it was like a number in a variable or something, I could just write like 3x or xy and it would be fine. But you see how it's not just going to get us a single shape or a single number. We're probably going to have a lot of stuff going on, like onto that side as well. Right? So you guys try these on your own. Okay? And see if you can do the inverse operations. Alright, so we'll go over these next class for sure. Moving on to the actual algebra. Let me move this. What is a literal equation? It's an equation or formula. So you're going to see formulas a lot in this as well that contain multiple variables. So it's got lots of letters going on. Alright? And we will always be asked to solve for one of those letters. So to get one of those letters by itself. So for example, number 1, solve for A. We are trying to get this A by itself. Well, what's happening to this A? We're adding B to it. So we have to undo that. So we subtract B from both sides. The B's here will cancel out, leaving A by itself. But on this side, we can't combine them because they're not like terms. This is a C and this is a B. So the only thing we can do is write it as C minus B. We're not going to be able to get that to a single value. And that's okay. The hardest part people have with this is accepting that they cannot do anything about this. All right, but we got A by itself, so we know that A is going to actually equal C minus B. Okay, once we figure out what C and B are, we are golden to figure out what A is. All right, same thing for number 2. We got to get A by itself. So we look at A, what's happening to A? It's being multiplied with the X and we're adding B to it. So sad maggot, we have to get rid of this B first, undo that addition. Okay, and again, we're not going to be able to add these together, but the b's will cancel out. So we have ax equals c minus b. Well, we still need to get a by itself. So here we're going to divide everything by x. We're going to divide both sides by x. On this side, the x's cancel out. But here, I'm just going to go ahead and write it as this whole side being divided by x. So it looks like this. That whole side over x. All right, and that's as far as I can go. All right. You could choose to write it as the c over x minus the b over x and split the fraction up a little bit, but you don't need to. Sorry if you hear noise. I'm doing it early in the morning and people are crazy running through the halls. Alright, but that's how you could just leave your answer. And then a formula example is this. So you have the formula for surface area of a triangular prism. That's it. Or height, h is the height, p is the perimeter of the base, b is the area of the base. It's just telling you a bunch of stuff about the formula. They want you to solve for h. So your goal is to get this h by itself. Well, what's happening to the h? It's being multiplied with p, and you're adding 2b to it. So according to StatMeg, you must undo this plus 2b first. So I subtract 2b from both sides. So that's going to give me s minus 2b. I think I flipped the equation. No reason, I just felt like it, I guess. So s minus 2b is equal to the hp. Now I can get rid of the p by dividing both sides by p. The p's here will cancel out. I could just divide this whole side by p and leave it like that. Or I could divide each one by p. It's kind of up to you. Okay? And that's all I can do. But that's the formula I would use if I knew what s was, if I knew what b was, if I knew what p was. This is where I could plug all that stuff in and I can find what h is. Alright? So now you guys are going to try some on your own. On the last page, there are 3 try on your own, so very similar to the ones we did. Okay? Go ahead and give it a try. And I really hope that my microphone was on this whole time, otherwise I'd do it again. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Write down any questions if you have them. Otherwise, I will see you next class. Bye.